But first, I'd just like to say thank you for coming. We're very happy to have you here, and we're always happy to promote our digital services. So Clarington Public Library is so much more than just physical books these days. We have a wide range of digital services that are available through our website. And I'm going to show you now some of the things that we have available. I am briefly going to talk about Mango. Mango is for learning languages. If you are traveling somewhere on vacation, this is where you're going to learn a great conversational language very quickly. We also have our Clarington Public Library app. This is so that you can access all the things that have to do with your account, but also the digital services that are available. I've got a cute feature that I can't wait to show you. We have Overdrive here. Overdrive is for ebooks and e-audiobooks. So if you are on the go and you want to pick up, oh, is that better? If you are on the go and you want to read a story, or you just can't get into the library, so long as you have some kind of smart device, a tablet or a smartphone, you'll be able to access that. Knowing what the weather can be like in Clarington at winter, this might be something you want to keep in your mind just in case. We also have something called RB Digital. And RB Digital, it's the new name for something called Zinio that we've had for a very long time. And this is all about using magazines online. So unlike the paid app that you have seen called Texture, that allows you for a cost to access magazines online, you can for free access the 70 different titles that we make available through the Clarington Public Library, all with the most current issues and back issues. So if you missed last month's, you can absolutely go here. And we're going to take a look at it together. I'm just going to run through the different things we have available, and then we're going to play along. I'm going to give you your own, and we're going to try and do some of these things together, okay? So, first, let's start with Mango, because this is where I started here on the screen. So this is loading my adventure, and this is really just an interactive app that will teach you conversational language. But more than just conversational language, it's also going to teach you grammar rules, it's going to teach you the difference between literal and figurative translations, because when it comes to some of these languages, it's more than just literally translating word for word. There are idioms, there are expressions that you have to learn. And when it comes to this app, it explains what they are so that you can learn them, and it's not just like, why am I talking about a pack of wolves all of a sudden? Oh, it's because it relates to this historical thing, and this is why, and now I can remember that. So when you come in, it talks about what courses that you have available. It talks about different ones here, hospitality and tourism and Portuguese. But I'm just, for the sake of this, going to go to French. But if I wanted to, I could actually click down here to languages, and we could scroll through all the different languages that are available here. And it will tell you also approximately how many speakers in the world are speaking that language. It will also tell you, so if I come up here and I choose, say, French, that I'm going to choose, right under here, it's telling you where it is spoken. So this is like, what language is it really that I need to learn? And here it's spoken in France, Canada, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Madagascar, and you can just keep seeing that, oh, this really is the language that I want to choose. And when I come in, I'm really just going to start here with Mango Conversations, and I'm going to start with greetings, gratitude, and goodbye, which is really where we would start if we were talking about a conversational language. I have already downloaded it to make it easy. Now what it does is it talks to you about what the goals are for the lesson, so that everything isn't just randomly done. You're going to come away from this going, okay, I understand why we're learning this, I understand where I'm going to be able to use it. It will also talk about your grammar goals. So again, this is all about finding, when you start off, the most basic of conversations, hello, good morning, goodbye, please, thank you, the things that you really need just to be polite, especially if you are Canadian in another country, because we're not going to forget our please and thank yous when we travel somewhere. So now I'm going to just start this off.
Even if it seems hard now, you'll learn to have conversations like this easily by the end of the chapter. Tiens, bonjour. Ça va?
Ça va bien, merci. Et vous?
Très bien, merci.
Bon, à tout à l'heure.
Oui, au revoir. À tout à l'heure.
So this
It's
is
French.
It's French, Parisian French that this is, but it's also Parisian French tends to be the French that is taught, generally speaking, in classes throughout Ontario. So this is one that we would, yeah, absolutely probably use. But what it does is it starts off with, this is the conversation you're going to be able to say at the end on your own. But now we're going to break it down into each individual component so that you feel like you could not only understand what it is you're saying, but then apply it to future conversations. It doesn't have to be that you're going to have this word-for-word conversation. That's a little unrealistic. However, if you understand the components of that, you'll be able to use them yourself. So here.
Oh, good morning. How are you? Is to literally say, hold it, good morning. How's it going? Which is,
Tiens, bonjour, ça va?
So again, this is about the figurative versus the literal, see? So that you can flip back and forth and you can understand how, yeah, isn't it kind of neat? It's how all these pieces are coming together. And this is just one for French, the very first lesson. There is Mandarin in here. There is, if you're interested, pirate. For Talk Like a Pirate Day, teachers are absolutely all over this one. So are kids, really. There's even one for St. Patrick's Day, so that when you are out in the pub, you can be saying the most authentic sentences that you would like to about getting another drink. It's really adorable. And the nice thing here is this is really not intimidating looking. So when I look at this, there's literally a little mango on the bottom of the screen. Oh look, he's got a little beret. That's adorable. So it really is something that you feel like when you're doing this, it's like, oh, yeah, actually I could burn through this. And it doesn't feel like you're picking up a large grammar textbook and trying to figure this out on your own. You can always go forwards and backwards.
this is how you say, good morning.
So again, they've taken the entire thing and then broken it down into the smaller components. They're going to teach it to you a couple times, they're going to teach you something new, and then they're going to come back to the first one to remind you. So that they're using that repetition to really drill it into your mind, and suddenly you'll be speaking a little bit of French before you even know it. Again, I've chosen French this time just because I think everyone has a smattering of understanding. But the other nice thing that we have here is, say you didn't catch it the first time. Just keep doing it in there. If you want, I can record myself saying this and then compare it. Again, all of this is available through your public library card. That's all you need. It's all free. You've already paid for it through your taxes. And I really want you to get the most bang for your buck, really.
Good morning.
So now it's like, how did we say that? And they're giving you a little timer, but if you're like, I really don't remember, you just open it up, show the answer, and off you go. So again, really intended to be friendly and appealing. Another great place that this is useful are for parents of children in the French immersion program. Oftentimes they're Anglophones themselves, they feel very intimidated, and this is a great way for them to, with just a few minutes at a time, learn a little bit of that conversational French. So even that they're understanding how the sounds work. So when they're trying to support their children with their homework, that they feel like they can say, like, if I was just Anglophone, I was saying bonjour, like, what is this? But once you've learned a little bit, you're like, oh, I'm understanding how this is working, and you're able to offer that support. So this is just one tiny one that we have available through the public library. We also have here our Clarington Public Library app. Now this one here is a personal favorite of mine. I love this one here because first of all, I am often running late on what I have borrowed, and I like to be able to track and renew on the go without necessarily having to pull up a website. I can do it on my smartphone whenever I want. But we also have things here like catalog search. I don't think I can blow this up any larger for you, but we have catalog search. So say I just want to look for something, I can find what we have available. This will show you both digital and print copies of things, and you can just book things right here. You can put holds on things, you can get on a list if you want to for the brand newest Clive Cussler, if that's what you're really interested in. All of this is really very easy and intuitive to use. But the nice thing that I like to show people here is the My Account. So I'm going to log in to my account because this is my iPad, so it should contain my information here. So I'm going to log in, provided my internet works well. Yeah, wants a second touch. There we are. So now you can see that I have 42 items checked out. I'm a bit of a keener, just so you know. I'm not necessarily going to read them all, but I'm going to try really hard. I also have 46 items that I've requested or that I've put on hold. Again, keener. I have here view barcode, because what's going to happen is people, for whatever reason, will come to the library without their wallet, but never seem to be without their cell phone. I can have my barcode in here, so if you have not remembered your library card or left your wallet at home or however you may have traveled, you still have access, you still have access to your library card, so you can still borrow things and take them out from the library.
So I don't have to show my driver's license every time I go in?
You absolutely do not. You just whip out your smartphone, you clickety click, and off you go.
See, I'm
Okay. I know. The other nice thing, I'm going to go back to home, which is right down here. When I go back home, I have something called barcode wallet. So say you and your partner, your children, you all have your own cards. Your card's loaded here, but I can load everyone else's card.
That's very cool.
And again, it will just show you the code right then and there. So then if everyone wants to keep things separate, then that's totally fair. They can. The other nice thing is, if your hubby, your partner, whomever has put something on hold and you come in to pick it up for them, I cannot give it to you. But if you have their card, you can just check it out. You don't need me at all. Not that I don't want you to need me. I always want you to need me. But you don't always. So this one is cute. So we also have our Overdrive, our RB Digital, our Mango Languages. We're going to go into a deep dive into these two next. We've already looked at Mango Languages, and when I click on this, it just launches the app. We have Tumblebooks here. Now, Tumblebooks is for children, and I figured this wasn't actually the audience for that, so we're not going to talk about it today. But these are books that are outside of our collection that you are able to view online. Some of them are just for straight reading, some of them are audiobooks, some of them are interactive books. So where there's a tiny little bit of animation and the text is being highlighted as it goes across. These are especially beautiful for some Robert Munsch titles.
Great for grandchildren.
Great for grandchildren, absolutely. And the other nice thing is they're short. So it's like 4 minutes or so for a story. So you don't feel like you have someone who's stuck on the tablet all day long. But you can put them on and let them click through a few things. They also have things like math stories, they have videos available, and these are National Geographic videos that are intended for a juvenile audience. So maybe they want to learn all about volcanoes or manta rays. They can absolutely do that. I know, it's really cool. The downside to Tumblebooks is you need internet connection in order to be able to use it. And for some people that's not really an issue if you're at home, but if you're traveling, it is something that you need to consider. I wouldn't want you to use a whole bunch of data while trying to access these things. When we come back down here, we see hours and locations. That's fairly intuitive. Ask a librarian. So this is going to launch a little screen, so if you need to send us some kind of member feedback or ask us some kind of question, it will email itself off to us. We have our events calendar, again, fairly intuitive. But Book Look, down here is my favorite. This is it's always at the bottom of the list. It always makes me cry because I think this is one of the better features that we have. So if I am out and I am at Chapters and I am thinking, I desperately want this Ken Bruin book. I really do, but it's $40-odd. I'm gonna read it once. I don't think I'm gonna reread it. So on the back of these books already come an ISBN code. So this is ours that we have added, but there was one that already came with it. So what I'm just going to do is, while I have the Book Look activated, I'm going to switch my screen this way. I'm going to click this. It says click here to activate scanner. It's a little small right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the barcode on the back. Once it comes in vision, there we are. And it's going to tell you, let me put it back this way, it's going to tell you that we own this. And when I click on it, it's going to think for a second.
It's cold in Newcastle this morning.
You know what, it really is. But I can put a hold on this title right from here.
That is really great.
So I just have to click it. Now, I do need internet access to be able to do this, but in Chapters they provide it. So if there's a cookbook that you think you're like, I would love to read this once, or there's 3 recipes I know I'm going to use out of this, and that's really the end of it. You scan the back of the book, you see if we own it. If the answer is yes, you put a hold on it, clickety-click. A day or 2 later, provided it's not already on loan to someone, it will be waiting for you at the branch. I mean, really, that is a beautiful feature, and it is a great way for you to remember the things that you actually want. I used to just take a photograph of a cover and desperately hope that one day I would remember to put that on hold, and I never would. It would just accumulate in my photos on my phone, and I would never go back. This here is just too easy. Again, you need to have the internet to be able to do it, and we have to own it. But we own a lot of books, and we are constantly buying new ones. So if there is something brand new coming out, chances are it's either on order or we already have it. And do try to remember this one, because this one will save you a lot of money, especially when you're out. If you also have children, the Scholastic book fair can kind of break you a little bit, especially when kids are going to read it once. Again, I'm not trying to discourage you from supporting your local school library. If you actually just donated straight money to them, it would give them more value than if you just bought the $6.99 book. But this is a great way that you're not cluttering up your house with books. You know, kids are just gonna, and then, for my children, it was Dora and Diego.
Oh, yeah.
They were addicted to Dora and Diego, and that's all they wanted to look at. So I have a gazillion Dora and Diego books. But once they were done with that little phase in their life, they really didn't want to ever see it again. They almost wanted to block it from the memory. I know I wanted to block it from my memory. If I never see another Diego or Dora show in my life, I will be a happy, happy woman. But then the other thing was, is what do I do with these books when it's all over? Because really, the little bit of a hula hoop had passed. The school library wasn't really interested. They're not quality titles, they're not particularly well made, so the public library was not really an option either. So they end up going to Value Village or Salvation Army or Goodwill, which is great because they're generating funds there. However, I would have rather just borrow them, let the kids get their yayas out, and then moved on. So please do remember this when you are out, because honestly, it will save you so much going forward. So now, I have Overdrive. Now Overdrive, it sounds like a car term, it's not. It's all about books. And I have already downloaded some things on here, but what I'm going to do briefly is I'm going to show you what you have choice of. So again, we're just thinking, so once we get loaded here, we're going to see that we have different choices for the titles that are available. So we also already promote some things on our front cover. And you can see here that these are already borrowed. They say waitlist right across the top. That means you cannot borrow it right now. Even though this is a digital book, I can only lend 1 copy at a time. Theoretically, I should be able to lend 800 at a time. That is not the case. The publishers have put restrictions on us so that we can lend 1. So it's just like a physical copy, but it really doesn't take us up any space, which is great for us, because our shelves are quite full already. So this is one that we lend 1, so you still can put yourself on hold for this one here. But if I scroll down, they're going to be highlighting some new things that they may have gotten. We just keep going, oh look, these ones, this has to do with a theme, so this is for awards season.
About that on the truck. I just read something about that yesterday.
This page here that you land on is constantly changing, and they're doing it to really attract you to some of the new material that we have available to you. We also have down here some quick reads, so some things that you think, I don't know, maybe that looks good. Now these ones here are blue on the top, which means they are available. So I can just straight borrow these, and I'm going to click on this one that's called American Innovations by Rivka Galchin. Let's check that out. So when I click on it, again, we're just thinking, what it's going to do is it's going to talk about what this is. So I can scroll down and I can see down here what the description is of this. And maybe this is something that's interesting to me. Maybe it's not, and you can just move on. Another thing that works here is sometimes there are some reviews. This one's from Publisher Weekly. We also have some details in here. And this one here is much more library-related ones, but it does talk about when the release date was. So that can let you know whether this is a new book or an older book. But the other thing that I find is really important is the read a sample. Now this needs internet to be able to work, but the nice thing about read a sample is sometimes someone's writing style does not jive with you. And this is a great opportunity for you to just test the waters without having to actually borrow it. Again, what if it's already borrowed? And you're like, do I bother putting myself on hold for this? Take a look here, you can go through and just read it like a regular book. It's usually the first chapter that you get available to you, and you can be like, yeah, actually, I can't wait to find out what happens here. So I'm just gonna, this opened in a separate tab, so I'm going to close that window. I'm gonna go back to Overdrive, and I'm gonna say, yeah, I wanna borrow this. This looks awesome. So I'm gonna click on the borrow button. Oh, my session's expired. I'm gonna sign right back in again, because technology blips are the way I love my life. So I'm going to choose my library. We're going to do this together, so you're going to feel like you know how to do it.
I have to tell you, that's very impressive that you got your number like memorized like that. Like, wow.
I have it from several libraries members this way.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I find it just saves you pulling it out over and over again.
Yeah.
Oh, why are you saying I'm blocked? Alrighty then. Let's take a look at what I already have borrowed. So I have three things. All we're basically going to do is you borrow the title, and it's going to say go to your loans page. So when I do that first borrow, it's like I have walked up to the circulation desk and I have said, check this out please. And they're like, sure, checked it out. But I haven't left the library yet. So there's that extra step that you have to go to the loans page and you need to add it onto your account. So it's just one of those things where you got to download it. If you don't do that part, you're using constant internet to be able to read it. And I don't want that for you, because that's a pain. I want you to get this entire title onto here, so then you don't need internet at all anymore. You can be on the subway reading your story, you can be wherever you want and reading your story. And that's what I've done. I've already added 3 titles onto here. So I'm going to come in, because I, in my heart, love Nora Roberts. I probably shouldn't, but I love me some Nora Roberts.
Yeah.
And it literally starts off, I'm on the front page, and it's just like I'm literally opening the book. It's going to tell me all the other books that she's written. It's like, oh, for goodness sakes, how many pages of this? She won't stop writing. It's too much. And I'm thinking, these are all her titles.
Wow.
She is a prolific writer for sure. This is definitely her career. No, don't worry. I'm gonna change the screen resolution. Don't worry. That's one of the things I can do. I'll make it brighter. Oh, the heat. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tap the screen, and I'm gonna see these dots that have come up over here in the corner. And when I do that, I can look at the table of contents. So I don't have to flip through all this. I can literally just jump to chapter 1. And I mean, like, I can just start reading it. And it's just like a book. You literally just flip your page, you just keep reading. Now, if I'm reading this and I'm finding, you know what? This is hard on my eyes. I don't dig this gray. This gray is not working for me at all. I can touch the screen again, and I can touch this bright thing down here. And I can change it. Maybe I like it like this a little bit more. Maybe I like it black with the white writing. You sort of get to choose. And each book is going to have these 3 options, and what it actually ends up looking like is going to be different for each one. But generally speaking, these are the 3 options that you have. I can also just turn up the brightness on my screen and it becomes a little bit brighter. I can also touch the screen here and I can be like, you know what, I like it. This is too small for me. Bothers my eyes. Okay.
Perfect. That's great.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
That's really good.
Now it's nice and big. This is easy for me to read. This is easy for me to access. I can also say to myself, I'm going to touch the screen again and I can be like, you know what? I'm dyslexic. But I still want to be able to read things. I can put on a dyslexic font. I can touch this here and I can say, you know what? I like something really thick and bold. There's no judgment here. You choose what works for you. I can also come in here and maybe I want the line spacing to be more. Maybe this works better for me. Again, this is very customizable. And all of this means that you have the best reading experience for you. And we're not choosing that for you. When you get a printed copy, you get what you get. You can choose a large print if it's available, and even still then, you get what you get. You're not going to be able to customize it any further. I can even come in here and I can decide that I actually want it to be, what am I going to do here? Oh, I want really large margins and I want it to be in 2 columns. You want to get super finicky? Right, whatever, there's no judgment. Okay, I'm judging a little bit for this one. Judging just the tiniest bit. I'm going to go back to 1 column and then here we are. Another nice thing that I can do is as I'm reading it, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is the best part and I can't wait to tell my friend about it. Right here, I throw a bookmark in and then I just keep reading and I'm like, oh, where was that part? I touch my screen. Oh, I'm going to close that. I'm going to come to my bookmarks and it's going to jump right back to my page. I can set 100 bookmarks in there if I want to. It's so easy to be able to flip back and forth. I especially love this with audiobooks because what happens is sometimes when it's on my smartphone in my pocket, it keeps reading the story and I don't really realize it. So every time I stop, I throw a bookmark on just in case. And so I'm not suddenly halfway through the book and I don't remember what's going on. But speaking of that, I'm going to show you another place where this is super handy. The True Crime Addict that I downloaded here. That is going to take a second to think. There we are. This one here, again, it remembered my options, that I know that this is how I like to read it. So yes, here's for Keith. But there are maps in this one. So this, because this is talking about true crime, this is things that actually happened, this is where I throw my bookmark. Because then as I'm reading a story and I'm going along, I'm like, oh, wait. Wait, I thought that town was, how did he get from here to here in 30 minutes? And you're like, oh right, they were literally right next to each other. And again, each title is going to really depend. And you're going to open it, you're going to see what things are available. But this is a great option for a bookmark, so that you just jump around. And it's instead of, because if you had the physical book, you would flip back and forth. And it would probably have a little bit different feel on that page for you to jump to, so it would be easy to remember. But here, it's like, this is a digital. There's nothing feels different. But boom, bookmark, and done. So I'm also going to come back to my bookshelf. And how many people are familiar with Neil deGrasse Tyson? No? He is an astrophysicist that is just the man. He has this beautiful baritone voice, and he's all about bringing astrophysics to everyone. And one of his books right now is called Astrophysics for People in a Hurry. So you can see here that these, oh, sorry, keep my orientation. These ones here have this book icon up here. But this one's got headphones.
It's auditory.
Audiobook. It's audiobook time. So let's check out Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Touchstone Audio presents Astrophysics for People in a Hurry by Neil deGrasse Tyson. This book is written by Neil deGrasse Tyson.
For all those who are too busy to read fat books.
I know, isn't it a beautiful voice? Really.
recent years, no more than a week goes by without news of a cosmic discovery worthy of banner headlines. While media gatekeepers may have developed an interest in the universe, this rise in coverage likely comes from a genuine increase in the public's appetite for science.
Now, when it comes to some titles, especially some of these nonfiction titles, I find that I retain more when I hear it. And everyone learns a little bit differently. But when I'm reading it, if I am tired, my eyes just start bouncing across the page, and I'm flipping the pages, nothing is going in. But when I listen to it like this, it's genuinely like someone is talking to me. First of all, he has a wonderful voice, so it's really not hard to listen to him, really. But the other thing is he wrote the book, and he is reading the book to you. So anywhere there needs to be emphasis, anytime he wants to slow down, that is naturally going to happen. He's not reading this like someone who isn't connected to what is being said. And I really appreciate that. And we have more and more that the people who are writing the books in nonfiction are reading their own titles. And it can be a great way to maintain those relationships with the people that you are trying to read about. So again, I can throw bookmarks on here. Cool feature, this little half moon. Lots of people like to listen to this as they're falling asleep. Throw on some headphones, and I'm going to say play for 15 minutes, and then shut off. Then it's not playing all night long, you're not killing your battery, you're not going to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning going, wait, who's talking? What is going on? But you can enjoy a story that puts you to sleep. I know, it's a beautiful feature, isn't it? We can jump forward and I can go, I just missed that last part.
Blackstone Audio.
Oh, no, I heard that. Jump ahead, jump ahead, jump ahead. Where are we
Though
now?
still unknown.
Oh, that's where we are, right.
This subject
I can jump
of
whole
science.
chapters.
Chapter 2, On Earth as in the Heavens.
Now, if you want to get a little freaky, and we're going to just for fun, I can also change the speed of his reading. So if you've ever wondered what someone will sound like as Alvin as the Chipmunks, you are going to discover that today.
As in the heavens. Until Sir Isaac wrote down the universal law of gravitation. Nobody knew this if the laws of at home were the same everywhere else.
Totally wrong, isn't it? Totally wrong. But how if he was Leonard Cohen?
God controlled the heavens.
There we go, nice and slow.
Them
And again, sometimes you're just going to want to listen to it as a normal. But so maybe you're running, everything's firing quickly, and you'd like to listen at 1.25.
Newton had figured out that the force of gravity pulling ripe apples from your orchards also
You can still understand everything that's going on here, and maybe that's what works for you. Again, this is so customizable to work for whatever your needs are. I know, it's so crazy. And as a chipmunk, come on, he was adorable. He was adorable. So these titles here, you can see I added these yesterday. It says expires in 14 days. You get 2 weeks. If no one has put a hold on it, in those last 3 days, there may become an option to renew. If not, you just borrow it again. There are 0 late fees. At the end of 14 days, it is not available to you anymore. Done. You don't have to remember to return it. If I want to return it, I'm going to do the Nora Roberts because I'm a little ashamed. I'm just putting my finger on it, and there's return to library.
Because nobody else can borrow as long as you have it.
That's 100% right. So if you're done already, let it go to someone else. Return it early, and again, it's stopping me just saying like, did you accidentally touch this? And I'm saying, no, I didn't. Come on. I know. Because the other thing too is, we're busy, and remembering to return things on time sometimes, it sucks. And the Clarington Public Library has fines, and it's because we're trying to encourage people to bring stuff back on time and make it available for the next person. We're not trying to be punitive. But this one here, with free and expires and no late fees, I'm not going to lie to you, this is beautiful. So this is really the quick and dirty overview of how to use it. Do you have a question?
Can you show us how you find out what is available on the digital library, what your inventory is?
Yep. So I'm gonna come here. So I'm gonna say, look in my collections, and I'm gonna say, I want ebooks
Right.
that are available now. When I click on it, it's gonna think for a second.
Does available now mean ready for sign up or in the inventory in general? So you can
It means this second I can borrow this. If, so here, and I'm scrolling, so you see available, everything here I could borrow this second. And I find that that's what works best for people, is it's like, you know what, I have a spontaneous 4-hour window this afternoon and I would love to read something, but I don't want to spend 45 minutes going to the library, humming and hawing about what is available, what do I really want to read. I can spend 5 minutes browsing through 10, 15 different titles here, go, ooh, that's the one for me, and be reading it right away. But if you just want to see everything, when I click on collections, oh, let's get back. Let's get back. Oh, I click on my collections. My thing is temperamental.
It's like real life. It's okay.
It is, it
Absolutely.
is,
It's good.
it
So,
is.
I have a silly question.
Yeah.
An ebook and an audiobook is only auditory,
Mm-hmm.
and an ebook is either you can make it, you can listen to it.
No, an ebook is just the reading,
Oh, okay.
like a physical book.
Okay, what about that one that, the physics guy,
That's an audiobook.
that's an audio, okay.
So,
Okay.
so what we've done is we've put that small E letter
Yeah,
in front of whatever it is.
Okay.
And that's what it is. So if it says e-book, it's just a book.
okay,
E.
okay.
And then audiobook E.
See, there you go.
There are some that are called read-along titles.
Okay.
So it is integrated the two,
Okay,
and it is highlighting the text as it goes along.
okay,
However, it needs internet to be able to work
right, okay,
constantly.
right.
So you can't just bring that one down.
I have
Yeah.
a question about the internet. I know you needed to access the title and to get it set up. Do you need it to read? I'm assuming you do, but I'm not sure.
Nope. Okay, look.
Once you download it.
I'm turning
it's
my
yours.
Wi-Fi off,
Okay.
although it's not showing that I turned it off. Hello. We've frozen for a second. Let me reconnect. Because I don't want that to be confusing for you. So I'm gonna,
Only because you have to use bookmarks and all those other things. I just wondered.
yeah. No. Those are excellent questions. Let me put this back on again. Yeah, there we are. We've frozen. We're gonna find our Apple TV, hopefully. Come on, you can do it. You don't. I'm gonna show you, but you don't. So it was that difference between when I've said, oh, this is what I want, I'm borrowing it, but now I'm still like I'm at the circulation desk and I haven't left the library. I need to do that last stage
Right.
of downloading that title. And once I have done that, then it's just on here.
You don't need
Okay.
I don't need the internet to use it. I could be deep under a tunnel on the TTC and I could just be reading a book. Yeah, that's the key. But there are specific titles. It's really not happy. Let me try this again. There we go. So there are titles like the read-along that I was talking about. There are some audiobooks for children that need internet. There are some picture books for children that need internet. But you will see all of that in your loans page. It's not reconnecting.
So once you get to the loans page, once you've clicked in there and done what you need to do, then you've
Then
got
you're
free
good.
access.
And you'll know what it is that you have available to you. That's the nice thing, is you will know what is available to you once you have done that stage. Sorry, let me just pull up my settings here so I can see why I'm not connecting anymore. That should be fine. Everything is good until you disconnect it, and then everyone is unhappy. There we go. So when I'm in here, in Overdrive, when I have it here on my bookshelf, it is like it is in my house. You can live in a lead case, you're good to go. When it is, and again, if it's gonna decide it doesn't like my account right now, I can't, yeah, so it's not happy with my account, so I will be unable to log in right now, but when I sign in, I look at my account, and I just go to that loans page, and when I'm at that loans page, I just see, oh, I haven't borrowed this, or like I borrowed it, but I haven't gotten it down. Okay,
Right.
download. The books, seconds. The audiobooks can take a minute or more. They're larger files. It's someone reading. So, we're going to do this together though, don't you worry. Now that I've talked about Overdrive a little bit, I'm going to move on to RV Digital. So, RV Digital only works in portrait. So I'm sorry that the screen's a little more narrow. It's the only way that it will display. So once you have created an account, again, I have all the instructions, don't you worry about it. But once you've created an account, you log in actually with your email address. Because I can actually have RV Digital accounts with more than one library, and I do. So I can then pick and choose which library I want to borrow from. When I'm borrowing from Clarington, they have 70 titles that are available. Sometimes I like to borrow from Toronto Public Library, they have 551. Just depends on what you have access to. But we're going to talk about Clarington today. So this is telling me already when I come in what I already have checked out, and I'm going to demo those in a minute. But let me show you first. I touched the three little lines, and the three little lines are sort of that menu, that new universal menu bar. And I'm going to click on magazines. And these are the titles that we have available at the Clarington Public Library. Rachel Ray Every Day, Family Circle, Hot Rod, Mary Claire. Ooh, there's Hello Canada. I love a little bit of a gossip one every now and then. That one's fun. I've got some National Geographic, depending on what you're interested in. I'm going to go to page 2. So I have Woodworkers Journal. Ooh, Star Magazine. Let's look at that. So I'm going to click on the image, and here I get a little bit of a description. I can check out this is the brand new one. This is the one that's at the cash registers right now. I can check this out and start reading this. I can also see all issues. So when I do that, maybe I missed last week's, and I know Reba McEntire is very exciting, but Harry has my heart, so I need to see what Harry's doing. He proposed, yay, can't wait to read about that. You can go back. You can just keep going back. Oh, 7 bullets married, yay, good for her. I don't know, really. And you can just keep going back and taking a look at these back issues. Now here's where things get nice. First of all, still no fee to use this, no late fees, nothing you ever have to remember. I love that feature, but also, I can lend 5,000 of each individual issue at the same time. So you don't have to come in and go, I want to read the newest Star, but it is borrowed. It is not. We could have lent out 100. I still have 4,900 to go. So please feel free to use this enough that I'm going to hit the max of those 5,000 loans, because it's not going to happen anytime soon. So when I'm in here, I'm going to say, okay, the back issues are nice, but really I'm going to go back to this one because I love her. So I'm going to click checkout. It's going to think. And it's just going to say it's checked out to you. Done. Now you can click email me when the next issue is available, and they have your email address. So then, if you don't want to keep clicking back, they'll just send you a little message, hey, guess what? New National Geographic's here. So now, this has gone green, and it says read. So I'm going to open it, and I'm going to read it when it eventually gets here.
What's the checkout time allowed for the magazine carrier book?
So, here's the thing. Some of them are 3 days, some of them are 7 days, they're all over the place. But the beautiful thing is, you just exit, do it again. So you don't, this takes up a ton of space. You don't want this sitting on your tablet forever. because these are now just straight images. This isn't text files. These are, like, every page is its own image, and that gets quite large. Because they're all photos, right? But when I want to read this, I'm again, like a regular magazine, I am flipping through, oh, yeah, you just read it like this. Now, I'm reading this, and when I had Overdrive, I had so much ability to make things large, to make it black and white. I don't have the black and white option because this is a photo. But I can just blow it up if I have a hard time reading it. Then you just move it around, oh yeah, yep, done. If I want to jump around, I touch the screen, and then here's all the pages, because I really only, oh, who's giving who a noogie? I can't wait. Oh, look, it's Hell's Bella. Nikki Bella showed fiancé John Cena, who's the boss, at the premiere of Daddy's Home 2. I needed to know that. I really did. But jumping around means that you don't necessarily have to flip through every single page. You go to the part that's pertinent for you, and look here. See how these are still white? This is a large file. It is still loading. If I go to the last one that looks like it's fully loaded, and then I turn the page, they're starting to show up. But if I go too fast, it can't keep up. You just have to be patient because they're large files. But they will get there. There we go. And again, you have to remember I am going over Wi-Fi pretty much with your tablet or your smartphone. You're going to be as well. Don't use your data for this. You will hate me. Your bills will be huge. These, do you know how quickly you can burn through magazines? Read the 3 articles I wanted to, gone. Next one.
So, okay, let's just go back and so how do we do that? How do we not do that?
How do you not do what?
Just use the data, like.
So, when you are at home,
Yeah.
you make sure you're connected to your Wi-Fi, and
Yeah.
if you have, if you have a tablet
Yeah.
that is available with cellular, or you're on your smartphone,
Right.
turn that off first,
Okay.
okay? Just use your Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Don't do it while you're in the car driving somewhere, because that's not connected to Wi-Fi. If you're doing it with an ebook that is like this small, you're not ever going to notice that.
Right.
But if you're doing it with these ones, you're going to notice it very quickly, and you're going to be out of data before the end of your month, and you're going to be very upset with me. So, disclaimer, huge files. The other thing to note is that if you already have a lot of stuff on your phone, on your tablet, because they take up so much room, you may want to read one, delete it, get another one on here, delete it, get another one. Not load up 15, because it may not work. It may say, I'm out of space. I can't do this for you. So those are things to consider. Again, it's because they're image files.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look, oh, that's such a pretty dress. When I want to get out, I X. And when I return it, that's it.
Let's do the data thing for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Is it not possible to download these to your Kobo as well, and if you're not using any data, if you download it while you're on Wi-Fi?
This, unless you have the brand spankinest new Kobo that is actually a tablet,
Okay.
not compatible with Kobo. Audiobooks through Overdrive, for the most part, are not compatible with Kobo. Kobo is a straight e-reader.
Right.
It is also persnickety in that
Yeah.
it is. Now look, it's affordable, it has great battery life, and it's so light. So there are some real pluses to Kobo, but when you want to use it with Overdrive, you have to download it onto your computer, you plug it in, you have to get Adobe Digital Editions, you're dragging it over, it's a pain. If you have the ability, getting a tablet is definitely where it's at. It will save you so much.
What about things like, it's not making sense to me, what about things like the New Yorker or Economist that are expensive?
Okay, let's take a look. Let's see if we have it. So, let's go back to page 1. Generally speaking, they tend to be alphabetical. Because I'm pretty sure we subscribe to The Economist. So, we're just thinking. Alright.
No.
Yep, Economist is right here.
Yeah.
So this is the most current issue of The Economist. You just borrow it and read it.
Save a lot of money.
Yeah. So let me see, and sorry, the New Yorker?
New Yorker.
Let's take a look at
And the
that.
Atlantic Monthly.
That one, for sure no.
The Walrus?
For sure no.
Oh.
I know Toronto has it, let me think, see here.
So you just
Other
have to make
news. So no, we don't have the New Yorker, we have Newsweek and New Scientist. And National Geographic.
So Fortune?
And then we go to Oprah, and sorry, you were asking about
Walrus.
the Walrus?
It begs the question of, what does it cost a library to have a particular title on its inventory? Toronto has 570, you have 70, whatever.
Right, so these are quite expensive. This is a subscription service, and what we do is we subscribe to packages. And they have sort of pre-pulled things into there, and we subscribe to this tier, or this tier, or this tier. Toronto Public Library has a budget that blows my mind. Where Clarington, this 70 is a really solid number to have. There are many libraries that are larger than we are that have fewer. So this is really actually quite a great feature. And the other nice thing here is, like if you were to borrow if you come to the library and try and read the most current issue, you can't borrow it. You can read it in-house, but you can't take it out. This is the most current issue available at the same time. You can just download it on here and read it and off you go. But what might work for you, and I'm never trying to send anyone away, it's I think $120 a year for a Toronto Public Library one to see what titles they have available and look through them. Again, I'm never trying to send you away, but depending on how much you're already paying for subscriptions, for serials, that might be an option you might want to do.
So, and if you're traveling,
Mm-hmm.
the concern again is if you're traveling and you're maybe having to pay for internet access.
Yeah.
Does this make sense?
Well, if you go into a coffee shop, most of them have Wi-Fi. You can download them onto here. So you can download the entire issue, depending on what your space constraints are. So if you are able to download 3 issues on here, and that's all you wanted to read anyway, once they're on here, you don't need the internet to be able to access them. You can just read them and off you go. So then internet's not an issue. So what I tend to encourage people to do is plan their stops. So like if you're going to grab a coffee here anyway, just stop for a second, download the issue that you want. If you read the other 2 while you were driving to that point, it really doesn't take that long, not much more than the drink of a coffee really, to get whatever it is you want on here, and then you're off to the races again. So it's something to definitely consider. Your mileage may vary. It depends what technology you already have, how comfortable you are with it, whether you even like reading on a screen. There are many people that want a physical copy, and there is absolutely no downside to that. You're going to pay for it then if you want the most current one right away.
So I'm just an old person,
That's okay.
right, who has many subscriptions to different, not subscriptions, but library cards.
Yeah.
So I have a Toronto library card because I work in Toronto, so I had a work address, so I could get a Toronto library card. And we have a property in Kingston, so we have a Kingston Public Library card. So if I want something from the Toronto Library through an interlibrary loan, but I only have a Clarington membership, right? So is that an interlibrary loan thing? And then,
Yep.
I'm just curious, like, how does that work?
Okay, so here's my profiles. I am currently on the Clarington Public Library one, but I can, let's see, can I add another one on here? No. Let's go home. No, it's not letting me add it onto here.
Okay,
So,
but you can.
but you can. So what I do is I have a Toronto card, I have a Pickering card, I have a Whitby card, I have an Oshawa card.
Exactly.
I collect them.
Yeah,
I
no,
collect them.
I feel the same way. I have Oshawa, Pickering, exactly, and I'm with me,
Absolutely.
so it's like, oh my god, anywhere in Clarington I can go.
So many of them use RB Digital, so
Okay.
that you can then just, for instance, access the Toronto stuff on here. It's not an interlibrary loan, provided your account is current.
Okay.
Interlibrary loans occur when I am asking Toronto Public Library to
physically
lend
send a
me,
book,
physically
a
send a
physical
book
thing,
that,
yeah.
that we don't own and are unlikely to
So
purchase
this
anyway.
is not an interlibrary loan, but if I don't have a Toronto card, then I can't access the Toronto Library. Okay,
You can
and that's-
access what you have access to, so whatever
Right.
account you currently have active
Yeah.
and current,
Okay.
that's what you have
That's
access
good
to.
to know. Okay,
Yeah.
cool,
But it doesn't mean you can shop around.
sure. Yep,
Why not?
absolutely, yeah.
Because other people, like again, every community is meeting the needs of their individual community. The Clarington community is different than the Pickering community, which is very different than the Toronto community.
But interestingly enough, like you can access Toronto through the Pickering Library where you can't hear. So that's interesting. Like, so the catchment is interesting. Anyway, that's another issue. That's a political issue. We'll get to
Sure.
that. Let's drop that one. But
Sure.
just thanks for the information. That's
Yes, so no, not an interlibrary loan,
it. Right.
access
Okay.
what you wanna access here, I'm accessing Clarington.
Yeah.
Because that's who we are.
Absolutely.
That's who we are. And this is a great collection that's available to everyone, really. So this is really, unless we have some more questions about RB Digital, that's where we stand. How does everyone feel about that?
Blown away.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let me
Yeah.
talk about two things that aren't digital really briefly, because I'm always pimping other stuff. How many have borrowed any of our book club in a bag sets?
What a great idea though. No, but I've seen them and it's like, oh my God.
So you literally borrow a bag, and we're gonna open it together, and you're gonna see what you're gonna get. So this one here's Playgirl, and the reason I bought Playgirl is we just launched this set on the 9th, along with 25 other sets. And this author, it's her debut novel, and she lives in Ajax. And she came to our Curtis branch for a launch party. We were so happy to have her. And then when you come, you literally are opening it up. Brand new books.
That's very cool.
They have a number on it so you can keep track of who has borrowed in your book club, what number. But this whole set has been, say, lent to you, and you are then lending it out. You get 6 weeks to be able to read your things. You can have 2 book club sets out at a time. So the beautiful thing with that is you can be collecting a set, have already borrowed another set that's the next one. So at your one meeting, you're doing this, you're returning it to the library, you're going home. We have already made discussion questions for each individual title. So if you're new to book clubs and you haven't done this before, we're going to sort of give you a little bit of a jumping ground to go from, to have the kind of conversations that are typical book club kind of conversations. We also have terms of use, don't abuse our stuff, please return it, you are responsible, the usual things. But we also have this schnazzy bag. But really, like, it's a Clarington Public Library bag. It tells you what's in it here. You just put everything in here. Every set fits in each bag. So you don't have to worry about carting around, oh gosh, I did it here, make sure everything is here. And these are brand new books. They're not getting the same kind of circulation that other books are getting. Like, this isn't just sitting on the shelf and being borrowed 500 times. This is something that's going out 4 or 5, maybe 6. So you're going to read some nice books.
How many books are the bags for?
There are 12 books in each bag. So that's a fairly large book club. I mean, if you have more than 12, kudos. You can also try and borrow some individual titles at the same time to try and beef it up. But 12, generally speaking, tends to be enough for most book clubs. We encourage you guys to try these out. We think they're really wonderful. When the titles are selected, they're selected based on the quality, the reviews, but also what other book clubs in the Clarington area are asking for. They're saying, we want this club set. And we're like, okay. So we are purchasing these sets and making them available for everyone. So if you get a chance, we would love to see you use them. Now, one other thing that I want to talk about is something called our Good Neighbors program. Now, I have a flyer for you, but I want to talk about it briefly before I give you anything. Our Good Neighbors program is a program that we have available for free through our library. But what this is, say you are unable to come into the library either for a short period of time or for a longer period of time. Say you have hurt yourself and you are physically unable to get in, or you are taking care of something is going on that you can't get into the library. We have a service available where you can connect with the librarian, talk to them about what kind of things you're looking for. They will select those items for you, bag them up. You can have a family member or friend come pick them up, say, on a Monday night from Curtis or Bowmanville, whatever works best for you. Or you can contact Community Care Access and arrange for pickup through there, and that is a service that is provided by them. So they will come to the library, get that bag, you have an extended loan period, you take it, and you are entertained. If you are stuck in the hospital and unable to get out, and those hours are long hours, you're desperate to need to come talk to us. We're there for you.
because we want you to have access to library materials, and we want to remove as many barriers as humanly possible. Now, I will say that this is a service, we call it Good Neighbor. It's generally a service called homebound or visiting library service, and it's offered by most public libraries. But most people don't know it exists. It is a fairly expensive service for us to offer because it does use a fair amount of time, but we don't care. We want you to be able to get the material that you need to be able to while away those hours while you are somehow unable to get into the library. And we're not asking for medical notes or, like, you don't have to go through a ton of paperwork. You do have to have a library card. That's important. If you don't have one, we have to get you one, but you need a library card. Other than that, you just come in and you start using our service. We'll do the interview over the phone. If you need someone like your mom, your sister, whomever to come pick it up, no problem. We will just make those arrangements. Things will just be waiting for you. So please do consider that service, maybe not even for yourself, but someone that you know. It's absolutely something worth using. So, we're going to play a little bit, but other than that, I have nothing else to talk about. How are we feeling today? Are we feeling like the Clarington Public Library is a little cooler than we thought it was? That